Hello and welcome to a new series called DIX Meets. Where we meet ordinary people doing extraordinary things. In this episode we meet 4 people riding 2 motorbikes from Sydney, Australia to North Wales. Watch as they prepare to do 25 countries and 25,000 miles. Viva the Monkey Revolution. Howdy, DIX Adventures. So I'm just with 2 up from down under. We're going to speak about the trip that they're going to be doing, but I'll let them explain it in a second. Just show you the show this. And they've got an absolutely fantastic table. Look at that. Now, my dad said about your table, are they taking it with them? So, here we go. So, I'd like you to introduce yourselves.
First of all, Dean, I'd like to say, Viva the Monkey Revolution.
Viva!
I'm Lobbo. Name's Lawrence, but everyone knows me as Lobbo. So, 60 years old this year. We were just looking for a new adventure. We went on a holiday with Richard and Jude, who were joining us on this trip. And one drunken evening, after a few too many glasses of wine, we were the usual banter. What about doing this? What about doing that? And Richard and Jude live in Sydney. And we thought, what about flying our bike to Sydney and then riding home back to North Wales from Sydney? And that was it. We all went to bed. And in the morning, it still seemed like a good idea. And what was really nice actually was that Linda and Jude were just as keen as Richard and I, which was really nice actually. So. That's how it started. So that's who I am. That's how the trip started, and I'll pass you over to.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm Linda. I'm Lobbo's wife, and this just seemed like a fantastic adventure for us.
Fantastic. Yeah, really jealous. It looks fantastic. Looking at it on the map, and you think mind blowing. So, how long do you think it's going to take you to do the trip?
We first of all thought 3 months, and then when we got to grips with it, we thought, oh yeah, that's not doable. So 6 months, and that's going to be a push, because it's not a race to get from one end of the world to the other end. We just want to explore as we go. That's really important to us.
Yeah. So one thing I thought about was, especially with there being like 2 sets of couples,
yes.
Have you discussed what happens for like stop-offs and, if you see something you want to take a photograph, a video of, I can imagine it being quite annoying if one set just keeps stopping all the time, the other ones want to carry on. So have you got like a daily mileage set, and have you got, have you talked about stops?
I think we're very lucky actually. We're very lucky to have 2 such close friends,
yeah.
And very lucky that their window of opportunity coincided with our window of opportunity, and that's quite a rare thing. A lot of fellow adventurers do it as a single couple, and you're only looking after yourself.
Yeah.
And like you say, when it's 2 couples, it's a completely different dynamic. So we have discussed a lot, haven't we?
Yeah, and we're going to be really mindful of checking in with each other, each couple every morning. Because we've got to gel and move through the whole 6 months together as one team. That's really important.
Yeah. Are there any dead stops as to when you've got to be back by if things take longer than you're expected?
Not so much for getting back here. There's a few deadlines on the trip. Unfortunately, there is, because ideally we'd like it to be as as free as possible. So the first one's going to be Thailand. Now the rule is now that you have to tell the authorities when you're going to enter the country and when you're going to leave. So that's one deadline we've got to hit. And then the next deadline is going to be when we enter China, and it's for the same reason. We have to we have to have a guide to take us across China. So we have to be at the border from Laos with China on a certain date. Other than that, we're Richard and Jude are pretty flexible. If it went a month over, we'd have to make other arrangements back home. But otherwise, other than home, we could be be flexible. We're giving ourselves 6 months anyway, so see how it goes.
And like, just when you look down at like the map and you see China, it's a massive place, isn't it? I mean, how long are you thinking it's going to take from entering to China to when you're leaving?
3 weeks, just under 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Richard's very good. Richard's very a lot more organised than we are. So he's got a spreadsheet, and he's got the rough date of when we're going to enter and leave country, how long it's going to take. Yeah. But he's also given us plenty of downtime, and plenty of days off. Yeah. Days off for if we have any mechanical issues, or days off for sightseeing. So he hasn't, even though it's 6 months. There's plenty of downtime, there's plenty of,
And what time do you think each day you'll come to a stop? Because that's the key one.
That's important to us, isn't it? Because we've travelled before in other groups, and getting to somewhere at like 6-8 o'clock at night
in the dark
is no fun at all.
I know. So, I've just experienced that myself.
Our aim is to get the miles done, in the good chunk of the morning.
And we're talking about
mid-afternoon, be wherever we need to be.
We're talking about doing like 2 hours riding in the morning, 2 hours riding in the afternoon, and then maybe getting somewhere like mid-afternoon. So so we've got time to explore.
But we've never done this. We're making it up as we go along.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So do you want to talk us through the route and like any like places where you're going to need like say visas and things like that for the.
So in terms of getting in, probably Australia's probably one of the easiest as a Commonwealth country, and so so close to the UK. Originally, our original plan was to obviously fly to Sydney, where Richard and Jude live, and then we were going to head up the middle of Australia and get to Darwin, and then ship our bikes from Darwin over to Dili. But apparently the temperatures, February is the peak of their summer, and some of the temperatures this year reach 50 degrees.
Oh gosh!
On the proposed route, and then there were also issues around shipping as well. It was a bit hit and miss. There could have been a few weeks downtime just from shipping alone. So in the end, because of the heat and we're actually going to fly the bikes from Perth to Bali. Yeah. So we've changed the route. Then we're going to go down south. We might even go to hug the coast and come round, but we'll end up in Perth, and then we're going to fly the bikes from there. But to get to Perth, we've got to cross through the Nullarbor Desert.
Nullarbor Plain, yeah.
The Nullarbor Plain. Yeah. That's it. So we've had. We joined lots of Facebook Aussie rider Facebook groups, and they've been absolutely fantastic with loads of helpful hints, but with lots of words of warning about the heat, but about not riding at night and watching out for the animals, the kangaroos and these killer kangaroos they talk about. So
gosh. So it's something we didn't need to worry about on our last adventure. Killer kangaroos. So Linda, where are you looking forward to seeing?
For me, it's going to be Kyrgyzstan here. When I've been researching all the different countries, this just looks amazing. But you don't hear of people going, oh, where are you going on holiday? Oh, yeah, I'm going to any of the stands, really. But Kyrgyzstan, I think when we get back, we're going on their on holiday, not on an adventure. It just looks an incredible country.
Fantastic. I know when I've ridden with people in the past, you know, you don't, until you go on like a long trip with somebody, you don't know like
what their pace is, their speed,
bike kit and everything. So it's a real baptism of fire.
It is. I mean, if you're gonna do your first long trip, it's going to be from Sydney to North Wales. That's fantastic. Yeah.
We're just really ordinary people, and we just think life's short. And it's just a balmy idea, and let's just do it. Let's make it happen.
You're ordinary people doing an extraordinary thing, and that's what it is, and that's what makes it so fantastic. You know, so it is going to be, it's going to be life changing, isn't it?
It really is.
It is going to be life changing. And what'll be interesting after we've gone through these questions and that is when you get back, if I do another one and see how much like you thought it was going to be, it actually was, because there's always things that spring up. I mean, what do you think are going to be the biggest challenges on this trip?
I know for me,
I think it's going to be it's the variety of climates that we go through. You know, from Australia with temperatures in the 40s, you know, and then we go
which we're not good with.
And then also in China, on I think day 13 in China, we're up to 16,500 feet, 5,000 meters. We're on there. So we've got altitude, we've got heat. Physically, you know, it's going to be quite demanding. The GS is a big bikes. You know, we've got all our camping gear on there. So we've got to try and get enough. We've got to try and get the right gear to get us through. You know, from the start to finish, and without carrying too much.
We might have the completely wrong gear, but we just feel as if we're going to make it up, and we'll make it work. We'll resolve things.
After watching the video of like your video, so people get on to Two Up from Down Under and look at the videos, because you'll see what gear they're taking. I was amazed at how little you're taking with you.
But for me, I think that sounds overpacked.
I know. I mean, if you watch one of my videos from the start of the tour, you'll see how easy it is to overpack. I dropped about 30 kilograms halfway through the trip.
Wow.
But I mean, you've taken less than 30 kilograms for the entire thing.
I
always
going around
the world.
travel light, don't I? Because you pack stuff on holiday and you never wear half the stuff.
No.
But it is. So the challenges are the heat, the extremes of extreme cold, extreme heat, which we're not used to either of those. We're just used to like 10 degrees and rain, aren't we?
Yeah.
Day in, day out. Yeah. Maybe for me, it's being a vegetarian. Luckily, Jude's a meat eater, so Jude can be eating the eyeballs for us. You know, in some parts, if you're invited into somebody's home, it's rude not to accept their hospitality.
So that's the quote of the day. Jude will eat the eyeballs. That's fantastic. Yeah. But if you don't eat meat, then what do you think? Do you think you'll be able to find things to eat on the way around? Are you taking certain things with you? You know, like as a backup.
We're going to have 2 days emergency, aren't we? Like dried packet stuff we've got.
So that's a good idea.
Yeah. So just emergency fruit and nuts dried. Just so we don't run out of energy between stops. But we can't be obviously eating out for 6 months. Which costs us a fortune. So we are going to be cooking as we go. Yeah. And like at home, we normally I get through a lot of vegetables and nuts and fruit. So I'm keen to try different foods, but it is a concern. I'm going to stay healthy through it all.
Yeah, because especially with the language barrier as well, just trying to make sure that what you're being given on the menu is going to be vegetarian.
Yeah. Many occasions people have taken. I've had a soup, bean soup, in Romania it was, and then I've fished around. Oh yeah, there's chunks of meat in here. Okay, so they take it away, they sieve it, bring it back, minus the chunks of meat. There you go, there's bean soup for you. No, you don't quite get it, do you?
Oh gosh. Yeah. What do your family think about you going on such a long trip?
I think my mum will miss me. She likes having me around. Obviously,
Obviously.
Yeah, so I think my mum will miss me. But and what we have done, we've invested in the Garmin tracker,
yeah.
So we can give our friends and family a link, and they can actually track us, in real time.
Oh.
So our middle son Gareth is actually cycling around. He's cycling around South America at the moment.
Gosh.
And he's got our Garmin tracker. So you're on there every day tracking him.
Hour in, hour out. I'm tracking him.
And then he's going to come back. He's going to hand over the Garmin, and then we'll take it with us. So right. People are able to see where we are. And
are you going to make that available for other people to see as well?
If we can, we could do that.
Because that'd be great to let people take part in your adventure.
That's it.
They see that you're somewhere like in one of the stands.
Oh yeah, look, they're stuck there.
Jesus stand. Yeah. That's where they are. Yeah, it'd be amazing to see.
Yeah, we have
in real time. Yeah, they could do that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So the other thing I was going to ask was, so from like a YouTube point of view, are you going to be doing your edits, etc., whilst you're away, or are you going to do everything when you come back?
No, we've got Jude's got a good friend that's going to be able to do the editing for us.
Oh, fantastic!
We didn't want it to. We didn't want that side of things to detract from the trip. We didn't want to be getting to the tent at the end of the day, and then on the laptop. Yeah. We wanted to enjoy ourselves, so there'll be a certain amount of editing. So we're not giving him all the raw footage, but hopefully he'll put together a package for us, and then he can publish. So
that's a really good solution.
That's the plan.
So there won't be a massive delay, will there? No. Maybe like a couple of weeks delay.
Yeah.
Because like going on, like I said, 2 weeks, it's different because you can just do a few live videos and then do it all when you get back. But if you're going for 6 months, then people say, "Well, this is what you did 6 months ago."
Yeah.
It's so it's much better getting the buy-in like that of people doing it. So from a media point of view, have you reached out to like Motorcycle News and places like that?
No, who we've been in touch with, we haven't really. It's one place to work. We're complete novices. I only had I didn't have a Facebook profile until 30 days ago, so and we only used yours for the cottage businesses, didn't we? So we're social media wise, we're complete novices, and our sons think it's a hoot now. They see us parents on Facebook, and Richard wants to get us on TikTok as well. So it's just it's a whole other world that we're learning about. Yeah.
Whereas the one place in the world you've not been to on your bike, but it's on your bucket list. It doesn't need to be part of this even, just somewhere that's on your bucket list to go to.
That's one for you, I think.
Yeah, well it is, and it's not here. It's our next trip. It's South America. So we have been to Brazil, and I just loved it. I love the people, so I want to explore all of South America. So this is just a trial. So if we after this,
sorry, I just choked on my cup of tea then.
That's where we're going next.
So going from Sydney to North Wales is just a trial. You've really got her into it, Lobo.
I don't even like being on the bike.
Take me hat off to you, brother. Fever! That's fantastic. Just going back to Lobo a second. I mean, you did say that people call you Lobo, but your real name's Lawrence.
Yes.
Where does Lobo come from?
It's just from school.
From primary school.
From primary school.
Primary school.
Yeah, it's just one of those when you get a nickname and they can just stick for life, can't they? So,
yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, that's mad.
Yeah.
And what do you call them, Linda?
Yeah, well, that's all. You came to secondary school. We met in secondary school as Lobo, so that's all I know you as.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, and this fits into what you were saying before. So, what's next? After you get back from here, what is next? So is it going to be a South America?
It's actually better than that. We've actually got a mad idea. As Lynn said, depending on how this goes.
Sorry, you've got another mad idea.
Another mad idea, and that's Alaska to Argentina.
Oh, fantastic. Brilliant. So, yeah. But there's another gap here that you've got to get across, isn't there? That a lot of adventure bikers, there's a thing called Adventure Bike Radio, and a lot of them talk about one of the gaps that you've got to get across, and I think somewhere over here, because you can't get through because of the forests and things like that.
Right.
And there used to be a boat used to take you round, but that doesn't happen anymore.
No,
so,
wow.
yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Right.
We'll look at that.
That's just a detail there.
It's just something you've got to think around when you get to it. So, where have your inspirations been? You know, who, like round the world travellers? Is there anybody in particular that you've like look up to that you've?
There is now, and I think as soon as we set upon the idea when we were in Tasmania, I think the next morning or the rest of the week while we were there, we were on YouTube. We were on YouTube every night, and the two that we do like is obviously Itchy Boots.
Oh yeah,
She really is good, and what we like about her is how she engages with people.
Yeah,
you know, it's not just bike footage. You know, she's really good at meeting and engaging with people. And then the other one is two lads from north and left a bit. Is their YouTube site.
I've not seen that one.
They're really good.
Yeah,
they're really good. So they're the two that we would choose to watch.
Now.
Yeah.
That's our evening viewing.
Fantastic.
And then of course Monkey Revolution as well.
All right. Monkey DIX Adventures.
Monkey DIX Adventures. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
No, but have you heard of like Emilio Scotto?
No.
So he was a guy. Well, still around, but he spent 10 years travelling around on a Goldwing, and he's done something stupid like about best part of 500,000 miles.
Wow.
He just went on like a 10-year trip, but and I think I believe he's Argentinian. Fantastic book that they've had translated into English with loads and loads of pictures of him taking this Goldwing through jungles and all sorts. It's fantastic.
Wow.
It's just a shame that he did it in like the early 1980s, when we didn't have things like you, because it would have been an absolute smash on YouTube. Yeah.
That's what's really surprised us. We thought getting across the world would be easy, and we've been surprised how difficult it is, just with the conflicts everywhere.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought? Whoops, can't go in there. Oh no, don't want to go in there.
And one issue we've got now is getting from Kazakhstan into Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Because we need to get a ferry across. But that's they've stopped that at the moment because of COVID still and COVID restrictions, and then so the alternatives to that ferry are Russia or Iran.
Neither of which
not ideal.
So the next update for their COVID report is the 2nd of January, but we'll have to make a decision a month before we get here, so we'd have to do a circuit round the stands and fly our bike from here. Or from Almaty, we'll have to fly from
to go across to there. So at least you've done that part, but you've just not had to go across there. Have you ever watched Ed Marsh on the C90s?
No.
That an absolute treat for you on YouTube. C90 Adventures. Ed Marsh. It probably about 10 years ago since he first started doing them, and he basically has been like Malaysia and brought a C90 back from Malaysia. But one of the places he went through was Iran, and he said that the people there were nicer than any other people he's ever encountered. And he'd be on the videos, he'd be riding along in his truck, on his bike, and the truck will come alongside, and an hand will just come out with an orange in it for him.
Wow.
Pass it to him as he's riding his bike.
Yeah.
He said they're absolutely fantastic. And when I spoke to Elspeth Beard, I mentioned about Iran, and she said that the nicest, kindest people you could ever want to meet.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know that that it might be a difficult time to be in Iran at the moment,
Yes.
but from a people standpoint, both those people have said that you can't beat the Iranian people.
Well, we've actually found that wherever we've been, and we've travelled for business, we've travelled now on the bike, and we've found that wherever we've been, people around the world want the same thing, don't they? You know,
Yeah.
People are lovely.
And
aren't
that's why we like Brazil and Vietnam. It's the people.
Yeah.
You remember it for the people, and then you come back and you're embarrassed to say that you're from the United Kingdom. Or we say we're from Wales.
So when you come back and you do enter Wales, then have you factored in the extra time for the 20 miles an hour speed limit? You know, because that could put an extra day on.
An extra day on the trip.
Yeah. Who's the worrier?
It's definitely not me.
No, it's not you.
No, I just think, for me, I just think, whatever comes our way, we can
deal with it.
We can deal with it. I think, having a background as a fireman,
Yeah.
you have to have that sort of mentality.
Yeah.
Whatever comes your way, you deal with it.
But we're chalk and cheese to planning.
Yeah, that's true.
You last minute under pressure. I like to be super prepared. So I packed my things like several months ago. You packed your things to go on the bike the day before or the day the bike was being shipped. So you just have to accept, and that's the four of us that will function in different ways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's understanding each of the strengths and weaknesses and working together.
Yeah. No, but like I said before, it's a fantastic thing you're doing, and a fantastic thing to be doing with another couple as well. Because I mean, and I know you was talking before about the fact that you've known each other since you was kids as well,
Yes.
which is really, really nice.
Yes.
That especially with it being somebody that's living so far away,
Yes.
that you can spend this great amount of time together doing something that you'll remember for the rest of your lives.
Yeah, no, we feel very fortunate, don't we?
Yeah.
Very fortunate.
Fantastic. So from an equipment point of view, what like say camera equipment are you taking? Filming equipment?
Well, a good friend of ours came to see us. He runs bike events himself,
Yeah.
and he asked that very question. And we pulled at the time. I had an old iPhone 6, and I said, "Oh, that's it." And he just laughed. So he said, "Really, the term he used was being digitally rich."
Yeah.
So a number of cameras, lots of batteries there, a bit like yourself, yeah. So we learned a lot from that conversation, didn't we? And then so we've got an Insta360 camera.
Yeah.
I've upgraded to a new iPhone as well. So we've got the Garmin InReach. Yeah. So we've upped our game considerably, and then we've also split things with Richard and Jude.
Yeah.
So they've gone out. They bought a drone.
Brilliant.
As well, so they've got an Insta360, so we'll be filming each other as well.
Yeah.
So I think we've learnt a lot. It's been
The first I think week, 2 weeks is going to be a massive learning curve on the recording and videoing side of things. But hey,
Yeah. I
it'll be
mean,
fun.
this that I'm filming on now, the Pocket 2, DJI Pocket 2. I'd recommend something like that, because you've got to think you've got filming that you're going to be doing actually on the bike, and you've got filming you're going to be doing like say around the camp and wherever you are, walking through towns and things like that.
Yes.
I mean, and the Insta360, it's a great camera, but it does take up a lot of a lot of your SD card.
Right.
When you're filming.
Yes.
Whereas something like this, you're filming in like a 1080 or something like that.
Yes.
But it lasts for like. I'll put a 256 card in there, and it'll last for months before I maybe even think about like taking the stuff off and reusing the card.
Yes.
So especially with a trip like this, I think you get loads of additional footage that you wouldn't even think of having.
And that's so neat, and it's not obtrusive at all. People, you haven't got a big camera stuck in somebody's face, have you? You could walk around and mark it or anywhere with that, couldn't you?
Yeah. And what I like about it is as though people sometimes will think that it's just they'll think it's just like one of these vaping things, because you're walking around with it, it just looks like a vape.
Yeah.
And you're like in a town centre or something like that, just capturing everything.
Yeah. Oh, no, brilliant. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, no, so I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Not too big.
Not too big, yeah.
Yeah, but like you say, talking from a digitally rich point of view, then you'd have all that additional footage of like, because I found on little things, I mean, obviously not anything like this, but the little things I've done, a lot of the good footage that you've forgot about is little conversations that you've had and you thought, I hadn't even realised I was filming with this then.
Yeah.
And what you can do with them as well, you can also do time lapses. So you click onto time lapse, just have it set up somewhere, and like when you're doing your camp, and you'll see some footage where it looks like the tent's being put up in super quick time.
Yes.
That's just with the time lapse.
Yeah.
So I think you get extra bits from that as well.
We did get, there's a chap called Mike, he's a filmmaker, and he got in touch with us early on, and he's going to give us a bit of a workshop, because he was speaking about B-rolls. We'd never heard of B-rolls before, so we're going to get back in touch with Mike and maybe have a four-way Zoom call with Richard and Jude. But he sounds, he's a really nice person. He's going to give us some help. But any tips like that?
One of the things that I kept doing wrong right at the very beginning was I'd press record on like this or whatever and just start talking straight away.
Yes.
And because I'd done that, I'd go to my edit and it had missed the first half of me first word, and then the entire sentence and everything I was talking about had gone because I'd be hello and so what I tend to do now is when I'm starting recording is just press record, take a breath, and then start talking, because then you know you're going to get everything on.
That's a good tip. Yeah, very good tip. Yeah.
You can always get rid of that bit.
Of course, yeah.
But you can't add it if
Yeah.
it's not there.
Yeah. No.
Fantastic. Shall we do the so if you'll talk me through your packing, so your luggage the types of things you're going to be taking.
Yeah. But it's really added up, you've seen Linda's film about what she's taken. We had a little bit of a competition to see who had the least or the lightest gear. So I think I won that actually.
You did. You can't have done.
Don't think so.
But we have learned from packing in the past, haven't we?
Because we've tried to make the camping stuff as minimalistic as we can. I think you've insisted on taking chairs, which I think is very extravagant.
That was Richard and Jude's suggestion.
Well, other people have said, but we're really short of space and it's weight, so everything just adds up, and that's what's been a bit scary with the camping gear. But we can't not take camping gear with us. For Australia, absolutely we need a camping gear, and just as a backup, if we get stuck anywhere and we don't get into any accommodation, we're in the middle of nowhere, we'll need to camp. So it's a
what kind of stoves and stuff have you got?
You dealt with all that, didn't you? Little petrol stove you got.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the make of it.
MSR.
Oh, that's right, yeah. MSR, so it'll go on all fuel or gas.
Right.
So we can, that's compacts down really small.
Good.
And we'll work at high altitude.
Yeah.
So
fantastic.
But like I said, all these things add up. You do all the research, and something weighs 500 grams. But it's 500 grams on 500 grams on 2 kilograms, and before you know it.
When we've been watching YouTube, we've been stopping it. Oh, just let me see what they've got, what they're cooking with, and how many pounds have they got, and it's So we've tried to cut things down as much as we can, but it still adds up.
It really has.
So when I travel, I'd taken too much stuff, especially pots and pans and things like that.
Yes.
I took the entire kitchen, and then my friend Colin, who was on the trip, he took next to nothing, and it was unbelievable that he'd lived off that bike for 12 days with the small amount of stuff that he'd got. It was fantastic. And whereas I was taking my Trangia cooker out and making a brew at the side of the road, before I'd even got it lit, he'd already lit his Rocket 2 stove. It lit that. That's an MSR one. It lit that, and it only takes about 30 seconds to boil the water. He'd use a a coffee, so the Kenko lattes.
Yes.
That they're £1.75 for 8, so like 22 pence
Wow.
each, and it tip that in there, and then use the actual thing that it come in to stir it with, because it's like a plastic, like a bit of plasticky type of stuff with it. So we'd use that, and that was it. Before I'd even got mine boiling, it'd be halfway through his cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, I've been quizzing our son Gareth, who's out in South America on his push bike. Are you happy with all your kit that you've taken? Have you taken anything? Have you taken too much stuff? And for him, his answer to me last week was he's just taken an extra cycling short sleeve top that he hasn't worn, because he says when it's hot he covers up all his skin, so he hasn't worn that. But it's a good lesson watching what Gareth had packed, how minimalistic you can be.
Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a thing called Mr. and Mrs. So it's just going to be an either or. So if one of you goes so that they can't hear the answers of your partner, who's going to go first?
I'll be first. Would you want to be first?
What answer?
Yeah, you answer first. If you want.
Okay, yeah. Bring it on.
And there's a couple of silly ones in here, but so Mr. and Mrs. be nice to each other. So I'm going to just ask you 12 quick questions and just give me like your answers to them. So soft luggage or hard?
Soft luggage.
Costa or camp stove?
Camp stove every time.
Textile or leather?
Textile.
Good. Load pipes save lives. That fact or fiction?
Say it again.
Load pipes save lives. Is that fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Fiction. Okay. So when you've got people with polite think bike vests on, are they police wannabes or is it a good idea?
Pass. I'm allowed to pass.
Yeah. Dogs or cats?
What? Running over them?
No, do you prefer?
What do I think Lobber will say?
No.
I know what he'll say.
This is yours.
But, I'd say cats.
Okay.
They're independent.
Hostel or tent?
Tent.
Oh. Electric bikes, the future, or you're having a laugh?
Well, I have one, so I need to eat my words, because I used to poo-poo people on electric bikes.
Yeah.
So I have an electric bike.
Okay, for the future. Sat nav or map?
Map every time.
Oh, good, fantastic. Coke or Pepsi?
Neither.
Heated clothing, is that for wimps or winners?
I've got to say for wimps.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Cheers.
You're welcome.
Part 2. Mr. and Mrs. Be nice to each other. So I'm going to ask you 12 questions.
Okay.
And the first thing that comes into your mind.
Yeah.
Soft luggage or hard?
Yeah, we went for soft this time.
But just what your preference is.
Soft.
Okay. Costa or camp stove?
Camp stove.
Textile or leather?
Textile.
So the words load pipes save lives, is that fact or fiction?
Fact. For me, it'd be a fact.
Okay. So when you see people with polite think bike vests on, are they police wannabes or is it a good idea?
Good idea, because Linda's got one.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
McDonald's or Burger King? I missed that one with you.
For us, it's neither, because we're both vegetarian.
Fantastic, yeah. Hostel or tent?
Tent, actually, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Electric bikes, the future, or you're having a laugh?
We were actually out on Linda's birthday. We went for a ride on our electric bikes.
Fantastic. Sat nav or map?
For me, it's sat nav, but I can tell you exactly what Linda said. 'Cause I'm sure we've got a 1975 AA map in our car out there.
Fantastic. And I'd said Coke or Pepsi.
Neither.
That was brilliant. Yeah. And then heated clothing. Are those for wimps or winners?
We haven't got it, but I don't know. Heated grip, but we haven't got any other heated clothing.
No, what would I have said?
No.
What would you have said?
And what do you think?
I wouldn't object to it.
No.
I wouldn't. I think Linda might have gone for it at certain times.
Okay. So I mean, most of your answers were aligned with each other.
When you said cats and dogs, I said, "Oh, do you mean run over them? Which one?"
Which one do you want to run over?
Because no, to avoid.
I see.
On the back, because when we were in Romania, it flashed into my mind Romania.
And
I've
the dogs
never
there,
seen so many
dogs.
squash dogs. It
Sad,
was
isn't it?
horrendous.
Gosh.
Yeah.
It was just, you just wanted to cry. It was just unbelievable. Yeah, crazy.
There was a mismatch there, wasn't it? It was almost in parts. Some of the villages were like it's like the land that time forgot. But then you'd have these big wagons.
And
Yeah.
they just don't stop. And they just
stop.
flatten anything that comes their way.
So you both had the same for the soft or hard luggage. You both had soft. You've both gone for camp stoves rather than costas, which is really nice. Textile or leather, you've both gone to textile, which is great. Load pipes save lives. So you said fiction, you said fact.
That's a contentious one.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest, I mean, I wasn't really into load exhausts until I got the monkey, and I was cut up that many times, and you're low down, you're not seen properly. So I got a Yoshimura on that, and it's the best thing I put on it because it's made me so much safer in my mind.
We heard yours on one episode.
Oh yeah.
You were in a car park. We heard that. Yeah.
Then the polite think bike vest. You was a bit cagey about that one. I didn't know until Lobo came back that you'd got one. Yeah. Then hostel or tent. It's really nice that you both said tent as well. Yeah, it's great. Electric bikes, obviously, those have come into your lives recently.
We would have definitely poo-pooed anyone on an electric bike.
A couple of years ago, we did, didn't we?
Yeah. But it's so I do both. I have an electric bike for going off-road, and then a road bike for doing sticking to main roads.
Yeah.
But electric bikes were just exploring all through woods and all these little back lanes.
Yeah.
You see a hill and you don't think, oh no.
just
There's a mismatch there.
There's a big mismatch.
Linda's aim is to come back with 100% battery. My aim is to come back and
with 0%.
So yesterday we went out for my birthday, and we're going up a hill, and we're both on eco, and you saying, "Oh, I'm going to press the tour. I'm pressing the tour button." I'm going, "No, you're not allowed to press the tour button." So when we went for several hours, and then you say to me, "Oh, I've only got one battery left, one bar left. We're going to have to go home."
Perfect timing.
And I've got all my batteries, all my bars left.
What a waste.
So we had to turn back and go home.
Or swap bikes.
I kept saying, don't be using your tour button, it's tough like you're going to have to be pushing your bike.
And then the sat-nav or map one, whereas you straight away map, and you think sat-nav. Yeah. But so you should get the best of both worlds on the trip.
The Australians a lot of people in Australia have recommended, I forget what make it is of maps, but a lot of people have recommended maps for Australia.
You like going with the sat-nav, I always like going with the map. Just because I like to see what's beyond the bit that the sat-nav can't see.
But I mean, it's good having a map, but it's good having the backup of a sat-nav.
Bit of both.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So, out of those questions, do you know what Richard and Jude would come up with those?
I think that they're so similar, aren't they, to us? I think they'd
Yeah.
they'd be very much they'd be very close.
Yeah.
Very close to those
Yeah.
answers. Yeah.
Good. So I mean, and that was it for me questions. I just again just want to wish you all the best doing this trip. Again, like I said before, you know, 4 ordinary people doing something extraordinary, which is fantastic. And I hope people on my channel jump on, get on yours, subscribe, and watch what you're doing, and then follow you. Especially if you can get some kind of like a link out where people can follow you around the world, because again, going across Australia itself will be a massive achievement just to start off with, and you're doing that before you start coming across the world. So yeah, really pleased with what you're doing. Fantastic, Lovo.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers.